Chellise Michael and Michael Busse are a power couple based out of the Brooklyn area of New York, and probably the coolest people I've hung out with in a while. They are photographers, they are Polaroid takers, picture makers. Started Camp Go Away, which is an incredible workshop for creatives to just get out of their rut and go up to upstate New York, get out of the thick of their season, and go do something out of routine. It is an interview where we go into what it looks like to be a couple and work together in a creative capacity, talk about moving to a new area and how do you actually develop business and relationships and all that jazz. But yeah, and the song in the background is actually Michael's doing. He's a musician on top of being a photographer, and this is the product of a bunch of friends drinking in the woods and deciding to record a song. Awesome. And yeah, so hope you love this. I'm Braden Flynn, and this is the Artist Report.
It's reacting the back of my cabin evil.
We're the two-story cabin in the middle of nowhere.
Welcome. Hey, this is the Artist Report coming from Brooklyn. I'm here with Chellise Michael Photography, an amazing couple living out here in Brooklyn. And yeah, would love for you guys to just say hi and just a little bit about what you guys are up to and what you do.
Cool.
Nice. I'm Chellise Michael.
My name's Michael Busse.
We're the Michael Busses.
Uh-huh.
And we are Brooklyn based. Been out here for 3 years. Bread and butter is our weddings. Do a little other type of work, but that's our favorite thing to do. It's weddings, wedding photography.
Well, yeah, you guys are just people that I feel like are doing some really cool stuff. And
thanks, man.
You're good people. So just wanted to come down and chat. Just had breakfast with them. They're a lot of fun. But yeah, I would love to hear just sort of in terms of just what you've been doing with weddings, like what moving here to Brooklyn, you know, is you came from where?
Phoenix.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about that move and then sort of what it was like establishing yourself in a new area?
Absolutely. The move, it was kind of great because Phoenix it's beautiful, it's a big desert, but it really is quite boring in terms of shooting for me. I always had to go scout, find locations, really plot it out because it's just very similar everywhere you go.
It's spread out, and most of the weddings you're going to shoot are literally just all on golf courses and not a lot of variety to it, and you need to literally scout for hours to find the one brick wall in the whole town or the one garden or the one this, and it's I don't know. You have to drive a lot and really figure it out.
Yeah. So coming to New York was like a playground of just, we don't even really have to scout. It's like, meet us at this corner, let's do a lap and kill it. Just really inspired by architecture and what the city gives, and it's pretty easy.
And then how was it actually like coming here where you obviously weren't here and then had to like actually build business and like make yourself known? What was that like?
You know what? We're both really social people, so honestly, it was pretty damn easy.
Yeah.
We just were out there everywhere, spent a lot of time going to every party event, and really, connected well with the people that were like-minded, and just focused on that group. And New York's a huge city, but it's a small town. It's really small, so it's actually quite easy to me.
Yeah, it took some time, but it's...
Yeah, it took time, a little time, but after 3 years, we were just killing it, so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If you were to describe your style of photography, or like if someone was asked like, what do you do? Like how do you describe yourselves? Or the way that you shoot, or what's your elevator pitch?
Tough.
I think one of the best compliments that we've been getting lately, because it is hard to describe your own work, is
without
that
saying, I'm really good and I do great stuff. So.
Yeah, I think a couple of our clients have come to us saying they are choosing us because we don't do wedding photography. Like our photos aren't really wedding-ish, and it's kind of weird to say that because we're shooting weddings, but we look at it in a more artful piece, like would this image look good without the couple in it is kind of like my mantra. What is a beautiful photograph? And let's put a great couple in it. So yeah, and then there's a little film element to it. We shoot film and digital, but what I love is that when we do our digital prints, they complement the film that they're getting with it. So
the editing style will be kind of suited a little more towards, I guess, a bit of film quality, but having fun with the digital aspect of it. So.
Do you try to get them to match in post?
Not necessarily. It's not
Not an
I don't
intentional.
think it's meditated,
Yeah.
but it kind of happens and it's sort of developed that way. And you know, some of the photos that we love are, you know, I gotta say, a lot of film, and you know, there's a quality to it that we absolutely adore, and so I think it sort of naturally just went there with our editing style.
Yeah.
Cool. And when did you two get married?
Recently, just
6 months
October.
ago.
Heyo.
Yeah.
Going on the honeymoon this weekend, is that what it is?
6 months.
Yeah.
6 months later.
6-month
All right.
anniversary. Been a little too busy.
Yeah, totally. Can you talk, just because I know there's a lot of couples that shoot together.
Yeah.
What is that like? How do you balance that? Do you play different roles, or what have you found like maybe were challenges initially, or that have you sort of fallen into place? Like how does that?
What really
Totally.
works for us is both shooting lead and not having the second shooter mentality of, oh well, she's gonna get that, and oh well, you know, he's supposed to get that, or da 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 da. It's, you know, what is the communication happening between you two, and how do you communicate? And it's unbelievable being a couple and having that nonverbal communication that just comes along with being there. And I can
just
look
give a
at her
look
and
yeah.
it's from across the room, and I know what lens she means and like at what angle, and it's like, okay, yeah, good idea.
A little sign language
No,
helps
that's a
too.
glance,
Yeah, totally. But yeah, there's certainly that. As far as challenges, you know, we work in separate spaces. She has a photo studio that she goes to. I work out of home, so there's not that, you know, constant being together, and like it's never gotten to that point of being annoying, like being.
No, we actually enjoy
Shit,
working together, and
yeah,
we can
I'm with
be
my partner and,
all
like,
day and be fine. But
People ask us all the time, like, how do you work together, live together? Like, man, how the hell do you do that? And
Right.
It's been incredible for us because I think we both give each other that space whenever we need it. And you know, I do music on the side and stuff, and just have fun with that. And that's my alone time and my getaway. And that's my little space to escape. And she completely respects that. And yeah, it's good.
yeah, but we each have our strengths. With, you know, he's really great with writing, and so he likes to do all the blogging and things like that. Where I'm really strong at dealing with clients and communication. So, you know, we see what each other's strengths are and just tackle it and kill it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
What are so that's basically within those roles, like you're more, because you're both pretty personable people.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
you
mean,
can-
I blog
client
sometimes.
interactions,
Yeah.
Like I'm sure you both handle
Absolutely.
pretty
You know,
well
we're there
together.
for every meeting. Every client meets both of us. We're there for all of it. But as far as like, you know, the email, the admin, that kind of thing, I'm just super on that. And then he's really great with the submitting and the market, you know, the blogging, writing. He's such a great writer. Tells good stories. So, yeah, good balance with like the workflow and who's got to do what and get stuff done. Yeah.
And with that sort of blend of like the different roles that you play and sort of how you're talking about writing, you know, I'm really interested to hear how people stay inspired when you're, you know, it can become sort of a machine when you're shooting so much. And, you know, you said you shoot about 20 weddings a year, which is manageable for sure.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I guess how do you find inspiration? And you were talking about music earlier, and that also, I'm sure, being a songwriter plays into blog writing.
Yeah,
so
totally.
Can you talk about the sort of other interests you have, maybe outside of photography, that play into how you stay creative?
Absolutely. I don't know. I've always enjoyed the arts. My parents and family took me to museums ever since I was 3 years old, and always exposed to that side of life. And I always painted and drew and sold painted rocks on the corner of my block for, you know, the time I was like 4 years old. and from there, I just always knew I wanted to do something, and it didn't matter what it was. And so I fell into music, and then did that for almost 20 years. And then photography was always something that I did. I was always a friend of mine, you know, in our group that carried a camera, but never took it seriously until Chellise and I really started, you know, dating and shooting together. And I guess how the balance of photography and other things and how to stay inspired is just constantly be, you know, looking at other people's work, but not necessarily wedding photography. I think it's important to just look at art in general and just stay inspired by continually just go to cultural events, go to museums, and whether you want to relay this Picasso piece that you saw or something, or a Richter piece, and say like, I want to send out envelopes that we send out to look like that or something. How am I going to do that? I don't know, I live in Brooklyn, like maybe we should like spray paint our envelopes and like create stencils or whatever it is to keep you kind of thinking, just how does this relate to what I love? And I think that's a question we all need to ask ourselves, is just how can I make what I do really, really special, but I'm not stretching myself thin to try to do something that somebody else is doing or try to do something that's watered down. It's just what gets you excited,
How does that relate to photography? Like, how do you then take all of that, and then how does that come across in your photography?
To the actual photos, I think photography is just that medium that, you are the sponge, and when you wring it out, something happens while you're taking pictures. You're wringing yourself out as you're snapping, I feel. And you're just like releasing that water and releasing that creative energy that you've soaked up, whether it's experience of art that you've seen, or music you're listening to, or something you wrote the day before, or a line in a book that you love, like In Love with Tom Robbins. And I'll read a line in a book and it will inspire an image in my head, and I want to take that picture. And so I wait around for 2 weeks at 5 a.m. for a cab to pass, and I get it, like there's something to it.
Yeah, I've always loved photography. I feel like that's my number one creative, whether it's a different style here and there. I've always tried to do painting or something, and it just never works. I just am obsessed with photos. Whether it's like looking at old photos. I love following other photographers, but honestly not many wedding photographers. I love architecture photography, design photography, portraiture, fashion, and you just take little bits and pieces of that, editing styles and light. Like I'm really obsessed with dark lately, and dark shadows, and just finding that sliver of light. But a year ago I wasn't, Next year who knows what I'll be into, but after all those years combined, they end up rolling into this like one ball of something. But it's constantly inspired. The city is a big, I think, catapult to that too. Yeah. You see so much on the street, and just so much more openness to trying new things, and people are way more down to do whatever to make art. It's not as closed-minded as some areas. Yeah, it's great. So I'm just inspired by people. I'm really curious about people, and personal projects I think are something that I'm just dying to get a hold of more, and really on just portrait work is my goal for the year, to do a project on that. And all the chaos of the wedding season, still want to do it.
Right.
Yeah, find a good balance. But yeah, that's it.
Can you talk about what that personal portrait project looks like?
There's a couple. There's so many.
I haven't quite developed it yet. I'm not even supposed to be talking about it.
Oh my God. There are really the workspace that I'm in right now, the Bogart Building on Morgan, and this is actually inspiration from somebody I know that showed me works from similar artists. I'm like, I should do this while I have access to this building, because it's a massive industrial building, beautiful spaces, and the doors are always kind of open. It's open lofts on the weekends, but there's like a marionette builder in the building, and then there's like crazy artists, and they're making these insane installations, and then a woodworker, and then a guy that makes shoes. So I just want to start on my floor and offer portraits of them in their workspaces, and then go to the second and third and fourth floor and get everybody else, But right now I only have keys to my floor, so I can at least tackle them and get a little portfolio going of the crew. And then, I think people in that building have been there for so long that they're, we all know each other, and I think it would just be a really cool thing to collect that for just all the artists in that building during this time when it's just getting to that peak, So that's a goal for the year.
Great goal.
Yeah.
Looking forward to see that.
Yeah. I want to do it really bad.
Awesome. Within just photography and just being that it's a love for both of you guys, I guess what are you drawn to? And if you can think of favorite photographs, like what are you drawn to in certain photographs that really stand out to you?
Black. And you know,
negative space black, or just like blacks?
Negative space black, but like shadow blacks. So just anything I can get my hands on that makes a really dark image, but then just illuminates my subject or one piece. And I think especially with like, you know, what we're doing for a living, mainly the weddings, it's like it's just so not typical, but I enjoy it and I just think it's beautiful. So that's what I'm into right now.
For me, it's something that's just genuine. That you can tell when you look at something, and I've always, you know, with my music background, just studied voices, being a vocalist, and you can just hear in a voice when they're being genuine and when they're feeling something, when there's an emotional charge behind it. And whether it's an emotional charge behind the photographer or an emotional charge behind the subject, that's what gets me most of all.
Yeah, I love how like different forms of art actually like really influence other art, you know, whether it's you know, painting or music or, you know, the things that really like play with your heartstrings, you know, then that comes out in other elements.
Absolutely.
If you were to go back in time and give advice to your young self, right? To the early ages, you know. Basically, if you were to go back and give advice to yourself.
People come to me for advice all the time.
So when people come to you for advice when they're starting out their business, what would you tell yourself early on to like either pursue this, do this, don't do this?
Yeah. Honestly, just stop looking and obsessing at other people's work. The people that have been in it for years ahead are more advanced and have a better portfolio because they've been doing it for a long time. And I feel like if you just spend so much time, hours on the internet, looking at them, bringing yourself down, you lose track of your own self. And you know, when I stopped doing that and I was like, I'm done, that's when things just rolled fast, when I just focused on what we're doing.
Yeah,
and
it gets
you
to
know,
a point where it can be destructive of you know, obsessing over other artists or what they're up to, and asking yourself why you're not there yet.
Yeah, it takes time, and just let go and go do your own thing. Check back later.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
How do the two of you, because it seems like you work really well together and you both are the lead position and you both are uber creative in your own elements, you know, like how do you sort of challenge each other? Is it something that like is intentional, or is it something just like in the process you like?
We're competitive, I think, like,
Totally.
yeah, when day before a wedding or a day of, we usually show up a hour before we're supposed to be there and kind of get things down for like, or we're gonna do this and that, and you know, it's like, I'm gonna do this here, so, you know.
This is my spot.
This is my spot, but I want you to do it here too. But then we'll also take turns with
like
the couple, and like, you know, it's fun to be competitive, and then taking like the bouquet and going to a shot, and he'll be like, oh, I already got that, and I'm like, I got it. You know, it's just fun to,
Or ring
you
shots.
need that. You need a little.
We fight over ring shots.
Yeah.
Because we started out photographing together really tiny little like figurines and stuff, and like, putting them in scenarios.
Yeah, mini art.
Doing macro stuff, and we got kind of obsessed with that for a little bit, and then now finding like the illest texture to put this ring on, or like something that's just odd lighting and stuff. It's super fun. Not your typical throw it on a flower. Everyone says that. Put it on a flower.
Sure, Mom. Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun to have a little competition in there. I think it's just natural, you know, a fun competition. It's nothing too crazy.
So what's it like going? You're going to be going to Tulum for your honeymoon.
Yeah.
So on that, I'm taking it. You're bringing cameras. Do you do you go out there and you're just going to relax and like take photos as they happen, or do you go into it like let's focus on this, or let's try to do that?
That would be fun.
We always no.
We haven't really gone with an intention
Yeah.
on vacation or anything, but I think they typically just tend to happen. Like when we were in St. Lucia a couple weeks ago shooting, we had a couple friends come out with us, and
It's not digital though. We're always bringing film. Like
Personal
that's our
work is
film
more film
stuff.
stuff.
It's,
typically, yeah.
when
Like,
it's
we'll have
vacation, it's
digital on hand
Polaroid and-
sometimes, but and we just love our iPhones too. Like it's with
pretty
our
great.
iPhones a ton. But yeah, we do a lot of that stuff. But I mean, we'll be rolling past this place on our way to our Airbnb where we're staying or something, and it's this old abandoned motel, and it just looks gorgeous, and
You need your
tile
good
and
camera for
mosaic
that,
and
yeah.
everything, and you know, we had a couple with us that was, you know, just dear friends of ours, and we just went and explored, and it ended up being like this recording studio inside this old abandoned motel, and guys came out and like shushed us, and they were like, "You can stay, it's okay, just be quiet."
I think it's hard to not take photos when you go to a beautiful place. It's just, yeah. I don't know.
love
It's
taking photos
really
when you go to an
difficult.
ugly place. too.
Yeah, yeah. When you're just out of your own element, you naturally want to go for it. But for like vacations, Polaroid is just boom packed. You know, definitely. I just love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but honestly, I really try to not bring my big, heavy Mark III. It's just a little too big for me. It's a break from that weight, you know. So the film is perfect. And honestly, too, when you go to like little countries like that, or you know, areas that rely on tourism, I don't like to be walking around with a $3,000 camera on my neck. I just think it's kind of weird. And you
It's
know,
nice to have a
Polaroid
logo
is.
instead that just looks like a toy camera or something.
Yeah, and my approach always has been, can I take your Polaroid and give it to you? And they're always down. So they're getting one, I'm getting one, and I do that with every person I take a photo of and anywhere we go. So makes it more acceptable.
Yeah, you're giving a gift.
So, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, they're
Exactly.
stoked and they're,
Unless they start
Versus
asking
just
for
stealing.
money. My body expensive.
yeah, we had a guy trying to charge us to take
He's trying
pictures
to,
of
like,
him.
he's like, give us money. It's like, no, it's the other way around usually. He's like, I go, we're expensive. He goes, my body expensive.
Those Islanders.
Yeah, I already bought you a beer, dude.
Yeah. I'll buy you too.
Yeah,
Exactly. That'd be so fun.
Right?
absolutely.
Well, awesome. Yeah, I just really great getting to hang out with you guys.
Yeah.
And so if people want to find your work and find you guys, where can they look you up?
ChelliseMichaelPhotography.com.
Spell Chellise, which is
CHELLISE.
And
Michael.
You can spell Michael.
You know.
Well, fun. But yeah, you guys are the best, and look forward
you.
to
Thanks,
staying in
dude.
touch
It's
and
been a blast.
seeing you next time I come out. So
Yeah, rad.
Next time, grilled cheeses.
Yep.
grilled cheese and whiskey. All right. Well, thanks. This is the Artist Report. These are amazing people. Check them out.
All I wanna do is do my zoom, 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 manita, boom, boom. Then shuffle like a boom,
I
boom.
can feel I'm getting ready. My palms are kinda sweaty. Busting through the levee. My thoughts are getting heady. It's getting a little eerie. Play witch, don't scare me.